Well, Lucha Libre AAA had their biggest event of the year. I'm talking about their version of WrestleMania known as Triplemania XXIX, which means Triple Mania 29. We had some amazing matches where we had some championships on the line. We had winner take all type of match between the AAA Reina de Reinas title held by Fabi Apache, including the Impact Knockouts Championship by Diana Perazzo, who will walk out as double champ. We even got the AAA World Tag Team titles where the Lucha Brothers will put those on the line. We even got the AAA Mega Championship, Kenny Omega putting it on the line against Andrade El Idolo, but he has surprise guests with us that joined them as a second. And of course, the main event, hair versus mask, which is a long time tradition that took place in all of Lucha Libre. So, let's get started with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I'm your host, Jay right here. So, as you know, I mentioned Lucha Libre AAA had Triple Mania 29 this past August 14th, which was a day I was unable to watch, but now I did. What an amazing event! Great matches, great storylines. So let's go from start to finish. The opening match is a Marvel Lucha Libre edition, where if you guys are not aware, they have a match in the beginning of every of their show for big events like Triple Mania. They have wrestlers portray characters. Now this is who they had, and I will reveal who played who. The first team is a six-person tag team match. We have Picadura Letal, Sexy Store, which is the version of Black Widow, taking on Veneniode, which is Venom, played by Taurus, or as we know him, Black Taurus, and Terror Purpura, which is Thanos, portrayed by Brian Cage, versus Estrella Comica, portrayed by Lady Maravilla, Arcano, portrayed by Hijo del Vicano, and of course we have Leyenda Americana, portrayed by Octagon Jr. Now, you probably ask, so these guys are portraying characters out of the Marvel. Yes, I have to say it was a pretty good match. I think the one thing that surprised me is when they had the Spider-Man version, Aragorn, who shows up, coming down a kind of like the Shawn Michaels when he was in that one match where he comes out like in a zip line, kind of like that. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. But he was like backwards instead of like having his feet down. I didn't. I was hopefully he didn't fall because that was the last thing we want to see. But luckily it was success. But the match itself was pretty cool, and it was even they had some great stories. There was a moment where Terror Portura was about to do an illegal move, and he was stopped by none other than the Hulk version. They call him Furioso. I don't know who portrayed him, but my personal guess it has to be Murder Clown. I don't know why, but he fits perfectly. But it was Leyenda Americana and Arcano who make up the victory, the pin Venenosa in order to win the match. However, a Loki type of character showed up out of the blue. I don't know what they call him, but it seems like this feud or storyline is not even over yet. Now, since they were done with the addition, they went with the opening match, which is La Copa Bardalh Cibernetico match. We had Mysticis Jr. versus Carta Brava Jr. versus Aramis versus Tito Santana versus Drago versus Niño Hamburguesa versus Mocho Cota Jr. versus Mr. Iguana versus Pimpinela Escarlata versus Villano Tres Jr. versus Mamba versus Ariles. The match was started out great with two people until they have like at least 45 seconds for them to run into the ring one by one. Now, out of nowhere, here comes Superfly and Barcanega attacking Drago. This looks like there's a feud going on between them. It's very common like that to happen for feuds, but however, I was a bit surprised that they took out Tiro Santana, Mocho, and Carta because they're part of a group known as Porta del Norte. Been one of the most talk about groups that are dominant, but however, they were not dominant. It was Mr. Iguana the one. However, while he was celebrating his little victory, they had a surprise guest of people that showed up out of nowhere. La Generación de Manata. They wanted to prove their point why they're there. They even took him out. Even they started a feud with Por del Norte. But out of nowhere, they were attacked by none other than La Empresa, one of the most newer factions that was formed out of nowhere, consistent of Diamante Azul, Puma King, and of course Sam Adonis, who I mentioned before is the brother of Corey Graves. So that's what happened. Looks like the Amanita are now joining them to be part of their initial response. They think that everyone in AAA are a bunch of clowns. They don't know anything about Lucha Libre. They need to be exterminated so the real Lucha Libre stars can arise. Next match we have La Reina de Reinas title / Impact Wrestling Knockouts title. This is winner takes all between Diana Purrazzo and Fabi Apache. This match I knew exactly how it was going to be because the referee is none other than Hijo de Tirantes, who had a beef with Fabi. He likes to screw her on occasions. So it was practically that's how it was. He was even helping Diana Purrazzo to win the match. He's not the kind of guy who keeps things fair. He likes to screw people, but sooner or later, his luck is about to run out. And that cost Fabi the title, allowing for Diana to become the Reina de Reina and told the world that this is the age of the Virtuosa. Now, my personal guess is she may want to aim for the AEW Women's World title. And I know she's asking Tony Khan to invite her over. This is something that could happen. But the real question is, can it happen? Well, we'll see. Now, the next match we have, of course, is the AAA World Tag Team titles. We got Brian Cage and Torus teaming up, taking on Los Jinetes de Aire, Hijo del Ricón, and Ladero Kid versus the champions, the Lucha Brothers, Penta and Rey Fenix. This match was so good. Everything was going out, especially Jinetes de Aire. Their high-flying techniques were insane. I mean, you can barely see what they can do. You'll be like surprised. I'm like, whoa, that is nuts. But however, it did not help them because once again, the most popular and most dominant tag team in all history, the Lucha Brothers, retained the tag team title. So I'm very happy that they did because these were the same titles that they actually beat the Young Bucks prior before. The next match is a special 6-man tag team match. We had La Empresa, consistent of Sam Adonis, Puma King, and Diamante Azul, taking on Pagano, Chessman, and what's his name? Murder Clown. Now, keep in mind, was a battle between La Empresa and AAA. These guys, La Empresa wants to change the landscape of AAA for believing that everybody is a clown in AAA. However, things didn't go so well because they were once rivals. They became enemies. I'm talking about Pagano and Chessman. Once again, they began fighting. So this is kind of played out in a bad way for them, allowing them to lose. Even though as soon as they lost them, the Empresa won, they continued their carnage, beating up everybody that gets in their way. But the real question is, who will be strong enough to eliminate these guys who are out to destroy AAA? Well, that's going to take a long while to show. Now, before the start of the match, Conan was supposed to be in the corner of Andrade. However, in his locker room said he had someone by his side, someone who understands him. Now, we weren't sure who was, but of course, Conan, who is the sneakiest person, decided to side with Kenny, and that's what he did. However, the surprise guest was none other than Woo! The 16-time world champion and 2-time Hall of Famer Ric Flair, who also is Andrade's future father-in-law. To me, that was one of the most biggest surprise. I don't think anybody was there. Now, to keep in mind, you probably ask yourselves, was Charlotte there? Yes, but she wasn't on screen due to the fact that she's part of WWE. She's mostly exclusive to them, and they probably would get pissed if she showed up on national television, on a television that's not from a promotion that's not even theirs. But she was there. The match was pretty intense, and of course, the same referee that cost Fabia Patches her title is the same one, and he was siding with Kenny the entire time. And of course, Kenny mocking Ric Flair because, he can see he's a legend, but he thinks he is nothing compared like him. I mean, look, we all know Ric Flair's resume. However, there was a moment where, of course, we saw that they put them both Conan and Andrade in a figure four leg lock, but because of that, Kenny used the belt to ensure he wins the match, and it's cost Andrade the title. However, Andrade decided to take his frustrations out on the ref, Hijo de Tirantes. Next time, Tirantes, you may not be so lucky with Andrade for what he's going to do to you the next time. Now, however, you probably ask yourselves, why didn't he drop the title there like they did with Impact? Well, it turns out from reports that it was AEW's request to allow Kenny to retain the title. Looks like AEW may have some much better plans or bigger plans for Andrade. Now, could this be a possibility that if Christian Cage loses this match, he could actually be the next guy in line for the title? Well, we don't know, but I would like to see that when it happens. Now, the next match is a hair versus mask scenario between El Mercenario Rey Scorpion taking on Psycho Clown. This is one of those rivalries that has been long time making. However, El Rey Scorpion actually was the one who beat Psycho Clown's father, Super Porky, for his hair. And of course, now he wants to come after his son, who is now dealing with the loss of his father. Now, not too long ago, I did mention in the previous episode he passed away. But the match was pretty intense, even though they had the other his buddies helping him out. However, his second was none other than his own sister, Goya, who luckily betrayed her once again, but this time her betrayal did not do anything good. It did allow for Psycho Clown to win the match, but however, the other members thought that she could help get rid of to ensure that Psycho Clown loses, but this time it did not. However, Psycho Clown was proud of for us a tough son of a bitch like Rey Scorpion, because that's what he is. He's one of those tough guys that you want to wrestle with, and that's the whole point. So he now got a piece of hair, so that means Rey Scorpio is now a bit bald, but we'll see what happens in the near future. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this review with me doing AAA Triplemania. I'm only gonna do one for now because apparently I was a bit behind with other things. If you guys know, I did my podcast, some great stuff. I talked about what I thought about AEW Rampage, what's the situation with WWE when it comes to Triple H and NXT, and of course 2 factions that I felt that people need to know about: Perros del Mal de Japón, and of course my favorite Yoshi unit right now is the Cosmic Angels, and there's really good sting. But however, coming up for the next episode, we got New Japan Pro Wrestling continuing more with Summer Struggle, with also the Super Junior Tag League. We also got AEW Dark and 2 past events from Dragon Gate from back in early March, the Championship Gate 2021 in Osaka. So those are gonna happen for the next event. But if I'm unable to do Dragon Gate, then I'll stick with, of course, New Japan and AEW Dark Elevation. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day.